I wrote out a story earlier today about how I had an experience in high school. I used to love making videos, and I'm old, so we used to record them on VHS, and then I would splice them all together. Very rudimentary way of editing VHS videos. And I used to be so proud of these movies, and my friends would graciously act in them and, basically learn my lines that I wrote out meticulously for them on big cue cards just in case. And I used to create all these little movies, and then I'd bring them into school and I'd play them. And I had a teacher who said, you know what, you should be in advanced English. And we worked really hard to get me into that class for the next year. And I was going to love it because my teacher had said that, I was able to tell stories and see stories in different ways, and that the advanced English would be able to give me that. Unfortunately, my teacher hated me in advanced English, and she really went up against a lot of my ideas and stories, and she hated every time I brought in a movie, and she didn't used to want to play them, but then the principal kind of made her. Anyways, after the last time I wrote a play, it was called The Apple of My Eye, and it was a mystery, and she was like, oh, after it finished, okay then, well, glad that's over, and then packed up all the TV stuff, and I heard it. And I stopped making movies, and I loved it. I wanted to be a professional storyteller. And, whether, she was doing it intentionally or whether she just didn't like me in her class, who knows? It really stopped me from telling stories. But I'm getting back into it. I've been creating some mockumentaries and some little films, and I want to tell other people's stories, not necessarily my own. I love other people's stories. And I'm really sad that that held me back for so long. Because all it does is take someone to believe in your story, someone to believe in what you're doing, someone to believe in your ideas, and they start sharing it, and they start telling other people about it. And I think that's what community is. I think when we believe in each other, when we have a shared experience or a shared truth that we want to tap into, that's when community happens. Anyways, I was just thinking about it today, 38 years or whatever, however old I am now, 35 years later. But it still sits with me, but I'm going to reclaim that. I'm going to start telling people stories, and I hope you come along for it. I hope you want to listen, because that's community. Even if it is social media, the minute you put down a comment, the minute you put down a reflection, the minute you add to an idea, we start to build community. Even though social media is a broadcast only space, there is potential for there. And if you want to really join a live community, there's always the Good Gather.